Due to YouTube's time limit on videos, Part 2 of the 7-part multi-part series on the CDI has been split into 2 parts. This is the second part of Part 2. If you have not watched the first part of Part 2, then please click on the link in the description box to watch it. Thank you. Here's another game with a lockout screen. Uncovered featuring Tatjana. All you do here is cut paper and reveal photos of some hot chick, and there are things that float around on the paper like ink and thumbtacks that if they touch you, you're screwed. Pretty boring if you ask me, even if she is hot. Fucking sexploitation. The Seventh Guest. Okay, this is a puzzle game similar to Burn Cycle. Here you're in a mansion and you solve puzzles to gain access to new areas where more of the story gets revealed. It has sort of a spooky feel to it, and you can observe supernatural phenomenon. While you solve puzzles, there's this voice that taunts you, and if you solve the puzzle, he gets rather upset.
Don't think you'll be so lucky next time.
This game especially made use of a lot of full motion video and 3D rendered backgrounds, which was pretty breathtaking at the time, and if you like Burn Cycle or puzzle games, then this game is for you. Ooh, scary. Rest in Pieces. Okay, this is a shitty game where all you do is scroll a shooter left and right and blast objects. That's it, that's all you do. This kind of gameplay is something I'd expect from the Atari, not from a fucking 4th generation console. And this douchebag of a host is so freaking obnoxious. There's also this crappy rail shooter made by the same company and hosted by the same asshole. Behold, Phantom Express, where you're on a roller coaster and you relive stages of your life and are supposed to shoot relics related to that stage. Stuff just randomly flies onto the screen. For example, on the childhood stage, toys randomly fly across the screen, and on the marriage stage, you shoot wedding bands and toilet seats. Yeah, toilet seats. This goddamn game and its evil twin brother, Rest in Pieces, belong in the fucking toilet. The Apprentice. Alright, this is a typical platformer game. You play as this wizard in training, or what they call an apprentice, who for some reason has a lower standing than the resident pets. So you're ordered to climb these towers, and on the way there are obstacles and enemies that want to kill you. It's pretty cliche, but the graphics and music make it a worthwhile experience. I mean, playing this game gives you that nice, innocent, family fun type feel, kind of like a Mario game. Overall, this one isn't bad. Mutant Rampage. Okay, this is nothing more than a shitty ripoff of Final Fight. The premise is that the world has gone to hell and is infested with mutant hybrids and bionically enhanced freaks of nature. Here you go around beating up mutants, and you have these points where you can switch out your character. The only problem is that these characters suck. I mean, look at this. This guy's punch has no range, and you end up getting your ass handed to you, and the only character worth using is Rack Saxon.
Humans are obsolete, Elwolf! These guys gotta have a death wish! It's like suicide!
Yeah, this shitty ass game makes me suicidal. Next. Daimo's Quest. Okay, here you're this kid who tries to act cool and you go around collecting candy. It's a puzzle game where you have to figure out how to get all the candy. You get keys to open doors and various other items that let you gain access to other areas, and of course, there are enemies and other hazards that can kill you. This can be fun if you're into that type of game. Defender of the Crown. Here's an interesting one. It's sort of like a macro level RTS game where the objective is to conquer territory. You build up armies and you conquer land, which increases your income, which in turn increases your ability to make more and bigger armies. In addition, you can joust others for their land. If you're into RTS games, you might like this one. Flashback. Many of you are familiar with this popular game as it was on the Genesis and Super Nintendo and is considered a classic by many. It was one of my personal favorites from the 16-bit era. So you start playing the game and there are these two ugly rectangles on each side of the screen. Half the sound effects are gone, and many of the others sound muffled. And since there's no start button, you have to push down and 2 to access the menu. To be fair, the cutscenes are better, but overall, they just fucked this one up. But if you thought that was bad, have a look at this. Tetris. Yep, they fucked this one up too. The biggest problem is the play control. You know how you can hold down to make the tetrade fall faster and then let go to revert back to normal speed? Here you can't do that. That's right, you have to wait for it to fall or force it down by pressing 2. There's no pushing it down and then sizing up, meaning you have to either wait for it to fall at normal speed and then size up, or force it down and risk making a mistake. I mean, how can they leave out an important component of play control like that? And what's up with these backgrounds? Sure, we got pretty little backgrounds, but when you fuck up the play control, it doesn't matter. You know what? Never mind. They just fucked this up. Don't ever play this piece of shit. Play it on the NES, the computer, Virtual Console, Game Boy, or even your freaking Texas Instruments graphing calculator. But not this. Little Devil. This game was actually pretty cool. The premise is that you're a devil who's been sent to go get pizza. So you fight your way into this structure, which is a winding maze where inside you dodge obstacles and pick up items including keys to open doors and gold. With gold, you can buy items which you need to progress through the game. Aside from wandering around in tunnels, you come across these rooms where you can do one of several things, such as using a needed item to get through, solve a puzzle, or engage in a boss fight. As good as this game was, there were a couple of problems. The first is that when you turn around, you walk towards the screen, which means you can't see what's in front of you. The second problem is a lack of a full map. These mazes are huge, and it's difficult to keep track of where you are. There is a small mini-map, but it helps to a small extent. What's funny is that the game actually comes with a piece of paper where you're supposed to draw your own map. Wow, that was nice of them. Other than that, this game was okay. The animation and graphics were well done, and the music was great. Alright, so we've sampled the CDI's library, and as you can see, there are both good and bad games on the system. For what it was worth, the CDI had an okay library. The problem was that it lacked both decent third-party support and a substantial user base, and despite its technical prowess, it simply couldn't penetrate the gaming market effectively. The types of games had been done before and done better on other systems. In 1995, Philips started porting its games to the Sega Saturn and the PC, and by the summer of 1996, the system itself was dead and discontinued, losing close to $1 billion over its lifespan. That about wraps it up. Join us next time as we begin the next phase of this series as we explore in depth the Unholy Triforce, starting with Link, the Faces of Evil. And until next time, thanks for watching.